Hello and welcome to the 2022 Grand Prix at Monza. Let's get this going. I'm excited for this one. I'm going for the Red Bull car. I don't have that one yet. I've got the Ferrari and the McLaren. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to add all the upgrades I need to finish this event. So we're going 16 times regular speed, but you can see about 2.4 million M dollars, 518 gold. That might sound a little expensive for an event like this, but there's been more expensive ones in the past, and these are ridiculously good cars. Like, honestly, for the driving quality, the driving experience you get with these cars, that's not bad. And actually, the full upgrade cost of these cars is not bad at all when you compare them to other cars like the Aston Martin Valkyrie or the Ferrari SP3 that are substantially more to fully upgrade and do not offer the same driving experience. This car will whoop the Aston Martin Valkyrie everywhere in the game. So I'd say I'm going to fully upgrade this when this event's over. You can see me do that. And that makes it so this is really easy right off the start. Now, often what I get asked is, do we do bot management in an event like this? No, at least I will not. In fact, I'm going to be driving this as hard as I can the entire time. So sometimes, very rarely, has that bit me in the butt in these required PR events. So required PR means forced upgrades, means you cannot enter the race if you do not have enough upgrades. So that's what this type of an event is. You have to buy a certain amount of upgrades or you cannot finish. At this point, stage one, I probably didn't have to buy any, but the advantage of this is you're going to earn more M dollars because you're going to place higher. It's going to get done quicker and you've got to spend the currency anyway. Oh, I tried doing my big figure eight spin. Didn't work. I will try that again next round. So we're going to be speeding through some of the in-between screens, but I'll always let you see what I'm earning per race, and I'll let you see my full attempt at every single stage. Some of these get kind of interesting here. So with these upgrades, where am I? Well, I'm starting at a weird place. Like with no one in the way, I'd stay full throttle through that. And even this last chicane, I could probably stay full throttle if there was no one in my way. But, you know, I don't want to necessarily go smashing through everybody here. And yeah, I've been really enjoying this 2022 Formula One content. It's been controversial because we can't use one car for every single Grand Prix event. And oh well, that's just the way it is now, I guess. However, these are the best Formula One cars we've had for any season, like 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. These are the fastest and best handling cars. I'm just loving it. In fact, at Monza here, I've been recently doing a lot of driving because I recently discovered the endurance race that occurs here in several invitational series is possible as an endless endurance. Probably might be the hardest race in the whole game, but it's possible. Now, is that really necessary? Not really, because we do have these 20 lap and 19 lap cup races, like 19 laps at Spa is very close to your daily maximum. However, what you may not know, the quickest way to earn your $250,000 M dollars is actually doing autocrosses right here. It's kind of crazy, and also it pays really good fame. I've just done videos about this recently, the 3 fastest ways to earn your $250,000 M dollars. It's all in the 2022 cars, so if you don't have them, you are spending more time every single day earning M currency. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But I'll have a link to those videos at the end here. Woo! I clipped them. Oh no! That's a tragic finish. Boy, that would get me in trouble in real life, wouldn't it? I carelessly went across that Ferrari's nose. My goodness, I feel bad. Well, no one actually got hurt. It's digital injuries. They're all better now. Let's just move on with this. Sorry, that's my, if you watch American television, that's the voice you use if you're selling a truck. You have to talk really like this with a gravelly voice to buy a truck. I don't know, I like doing it sometimes. It's hilarious. So the bots seem extremely slow because I am substantially over-upgraded compared to the competition that we're facing. And I'm taking it easy at Parabolica here. Not really sure how hard I can push the limits of this car with these upgrades. So I'm just taking it easy. I hate losing it at Parabolica. And some of these stages, you don't know, oh, okay, well, they just end there. Sometimes a stage will end, and sometimes you got to keep on going. And let's see, where are we here? So that's it. Let's get to the last race of this particular stage, stage 1. Set the fastest lap. And you might notice I'm keeping this clean, even if it's, well, okay, I just hit that guy. Even when it doesn't say anything about off track, I'm mostly keeping this on track. I want to show you guys what it's like if you're trying to play this like a regular Formula 1 racer, not like one who does lawnmower mode. Oh, they're doing, well, now he's not. Interesting. In partial laps, you'll notice that the bots will drive in formation. So what that means is that if a bot is starting on the left, he'll stay on the left for the entire outlap. If he's starting on the right, he'll stay on the right. So that makes them substantially slower in corners because they've got to maintain that placing. Woo! Getting a little bit of side contact there. So far, I'm really enjoying these cars. Monza is one of my favorite tracks. Well, I know it as the Cathedral of Speed. That's what I've heard it called quite often. I think it's also called the Temple of Speed. Whatever. It is a fast track. So big favorite for a lot of people because it's so fast flowing. Even the chicanes that you slow down for are fast. Like the first chicane I think would be the slowest. Definitely, that's the slowest you're going for the entire lap here at Monza. So, I love this track. I think I've always loved this track. There are 2 ways you could take this first corner, you probably know, but you could also go off track. You can actually go left or right off track, and left is really risky. It's hard to master that. Unfortunately, that's necessary if you want to do an endless endurance race here, and not only that, you want to try to do it without clipping walls, which is just almost ridiculous. Like, oopsie, you got to develop muscle memory to pull that off. So now, because I was so loose there, I should be able to keep this full throttle. Did a micro lift. Honestly, it's these morning evening type races, they're throwing me off. I can't really see my entrance point to the corner. I'm not faulting it, it's actually cool, because that's real life, right? Sometimes you're going to have the sun in your eyes, or shadows are going to play games with you, and you might miss an entrance point, or you might miss a braking point, and you've got to deal. You just got to deal with it, man. So I'm trying to deal with it, man. Like, I'm almost a mile ahead here. Like, that's over a kilometer. 1.61 kilometers is a mile. I actually grew up thinking it was 1.6, but it's much closer to 1.61 when you round it off. So, that is going to take us to the end of the Stage 1 action for the Monza Grand Prix. Please like and subscribe, check out some other videos, and I got more. And welcome to Stage 2 of the 2022 Italian Grand Prix for Formula 1. If you're wondering about upgrade costs, I'd suggest you watch my Stage 1 video. The link is at the end here, the playlist link. First 30 seconds, I go through all that. As you can see, this is a pretty short stage. They're just taking us through certain sections of the track and highlighting them, and I think that's kind of cool. Some of the names I am not going to attempt. My Italian is horrible. I'm not going to insult you guys by attempting this. But they take us through different sections of the track and really quick stages, as you're going to see. Like, this whole video is not very long, and I've already got, so as far as upgrades are going, what I need to complete this entire event, I've already bought. And that way you just fly through this. I'm doing no bot slowing. I want this to be as hard as it can be. I'm just going fast, because this entire event is required PR, meaning we are forced to do certain upgrades, don't have a choice. And so might as well just get it done right away and fly through the rest. So there we go. This is an average speed stage. You do dip below for a little bit, but there's some cars in the way. You can keep it pretty much pinned. Like, if no one's in the way, you could be full throttle for this corner and the one prior. So after the chicane, you can just keep it pinned. And I wasn't quite sure where the stages would end, so I was ready on the brakes just in case. But then suddenly stages are just ending. And as you can see, not difficult. Like, I'm just flying through this stuff. And we have one more section to go here. Yeah, heading into Parabolica. And we have to reach the start-finish line within before the timer runs out. So, seeing as where they're starting us here, I'm pretty sure I can take this chicane full throttle. So let's just see here, looking at my speed. I think so. Oh, someone's in the way. Well, that can make that more difficult. Don't know if you noticed there, but I hopped a curb. I was airborne while I was passing that guy. I did lift a little bit, didn't bother braking. So it's pretty cool when you're flying along at these speeds. Oh, better watch out for him. There we go. And then that's going to be it for this stage. Again, pretty easy. How much do I have left on the clock there? 5+ seconds for a short stage. Really shouldn't be a problem for anybody. Okay, so what do they have here for the last event of stage 2? Oh, so do we have an overheating problem here? Well, that can be fun. Let's just see here. I wonder how hard I can push it. Well, so this is an out lap, and then we have a full lap after this. I don't necessarily want to push it too much, so I might do a little bit of lifting, but just pay attention to how I do this. I'm going to push it. I'm going to really push this. I don't plan to do too much coasting. You want to draft as much as you can, because that is, you're covering more ground in less time. And the overheating aspect of our cars, it's not based on a real engine, of course. It's just based on time. So time on the throttle. So if you're covering more ground while you're on the throttle, you're not overheating as much, right? Does that make sense? Hope it does. Now, what you could do if you're getting worried, if you know your braking points, just get off the throttle a little bit earlier. I didn't check. It used to be in the old days that you wouldn't even be allowed to choose automatic accelerator for this type of a stage. So if you are using like Tilt A, that's automatic accelerator, I would strongly recommend using Tilt B, because then you have the option to coast. I'm getting pretty hot here, but not too bad. I don't know. I lifted a little bit early for that chicane. Well, honestly, that was a lot early when it comes to Formula 1 racing. Like, I'm usually off for like maybe a quarter second at the most, and I was off for at least a full second. And, well, maybe let's just push it and see what happens. I'm curious if I'm actually going to overheat. I don't think I will. But if I do, I do. No, it's looking pretty good, right? Well, there we go. And that's it, guys. Stage 2 is already done. So please check out some other videos. Playlist link will be here, as well as how you earn your M dollars as fast as possible. Hello and welcome to Stage 3 of the 2022 Formula 1 Grand Prix event. I'm using the Red Bull. If you're wondering about upgrade costs, I'd suggest you watch my Stage 1 video. The link is at the end in the playlist link. I get to it in the first 20 or 30 seconds of that video. And so this one, I thought I'd try something interesting. It said pass 6 cars without damaging yours, and I thought, well, what do they mean by damage? Because there's damage that occurs because you hit something, and then there's damage that occurs when you're driving off track, but that isn't added up until the end of the race. So let's just go full speed and take the left-hand cut at the first chicane and see what happens. Ooh, that's risky. Oh, and there we go. It's the end. So I didn't hit those walls too hard. So you can do it the normal way too, but I don't know. I did that just for some fun, so you guys can see different ways of doing things. So for this stage, we've got depleting tires. Tires are wearing out fast. My suggestion for this is try not to take your tires off track at all, not even 2 tires. So a lot of people don't realize that. The game definitely counts whenever you've got any tires off track. So how do we know this? Well, your braking ability is always worse with 2 tires off track. In fact, the worst braking ability in the game is with 2 tires off track. So then why do you see people like me doing it and other guys doing it? That's because of trajectory or your race line. So sometimes you get a better line through the corner, like you widen out that corner by having 2 tires way off track, but it definitely hurts your braking ability. And also it will, as far as your clean race bonus is concerned, to get maximum clean race bonus, you need all 4 tires on track at all times, never hitting anything. Now, all 4 tires on track at all times will make you a lot slower than the competition. Like in a weekly time trial competition, you're not even going to get Group C if you try to keep all 4 tires on track. Doesn't matter how good you are. So you just have to do that. Ooh, that was close. Anyhow. So that helps you to not wear your tires out as fast. So you definitely don't want all 4 tires off track. Even avoiding 2 tires will help. And why does that matter? Because as this grip goes down, my cornering ability will get hurt. So with a car like this at 73%, I really don't have to adjust my driving too much. But yeah, I'm going to take this chicane a little bit more careful. Woo, that was kind of nice. I mean, this is almost over and I've still got a lot of tires left. So really, I mean, there's nothing really to worry about, but maybe you're doing this with as limited upgrades at this point. I've already got everything I need to finish the last race of stage 5. And so if you're doing this with as few upgrades as possible, then you'll have to be a little bit more careful. Now, I'm not doing that because I know I have to. I'm forced to buy these upgrades before the event's over. So buy them early, earn more currency per race, and kind of have some fun with it all. Now, in this stage, we've got to warm up our tires without ever going off track and without skidding. And the first thing we're facing is Parabolica. So, as tempting as it is to attempt this at full speed, not with 11% tires, you can forget about that. So I'm going to take it easy around this track. Don't want to do anything too crazy. And just let those tires build up, get some nice average speed built up. I don't think there's going to be any problems here. Nice, get some nice drafting in or slipstreaming, depending on which type of racing you regularly watch. Definitely the same thing. And yeah, there we go again. Your tires will build up grip faster if you stay off track. Mind you, here I am with 2 tires way off track. Actually, when it comes to building up, only 4 tires off track will hurt you when it comes to building up your tires. Now, if I was able to skid or slide, I would be building up my tires a lot quicker. It's actually shocking how fast you can build up the heat in those tires by drifting and sliding around, but not one that said no skidding. So I'm going to be very careful. In fact, I'm staying really careful through this event here. You might notice if you've watched my videos, you know I do off-track cutting sometimes for different reasons. And I'm not doing really any of that, hardly any. So just no reason for it. It's available to you if you're having a hard time, but I really don't think this event is going to be difficult in the slightest sense. Usually they're not. Required PR events, the developers try to make these so that if you buy the upgrades they tell you need, that's it. You can just basically pay the fee, get your car. And I love these cars. These are amazing cars. I wanted to have a third 2022 Formula One car maxed out just for the fun of it. I love these cars. They're some of the best cars I've driven in the game. So I actually think it's an extremely good deal to fully upgrade these ones. You certainly don't need 3. I'm kind of overdoing it, honestly. But I'm finding some interesting things. By the way, drafting is always hilarious. Just watch how fast this adds up. It's ridiculous. It's not meters, it's not yards. Yes, you know it. Roman cubits. Yes, as in ancient Rome. The unit of measure that is being used for some reason is Roman cubits, and no one knows why. For every meter you drive, you're getting credited 2.25 meters. You work out that math. Oh, it's been a while since I looked at this. 17.48 centimeters. No, that sounds wrong. 17.48 inches, 44.44 centimeters. I believe. I didn't look it up. I've done the conversions in the past. Definitely, you're getting 2.25 meters for every meter you travel. That's why the drafting goes by so quickly, or the slipstreaming. So, there you go. Okay, so, one interesting thing I've been noticing. The Mercedes and the Ferrari for 2022 are extremely close in all stats. The Mercedes is a 1/100th of a second faster. The Ferrari has brakes that are 3/10ths of a second better as far as their stopping speed. Other than that, they're the same. However, their coating is different. They handle differently. And the Mercedes, when you get mild damage, you take a top speed penalty, whereas you do not take a top speed penalty in the Ferrari. But I noticed that the brakes seem to fall off and the cornering seems to fall off a bit more at the Ferrari. I found that extremely interesting. Oh, do I do it? Oh, perfect! A perfect figure 8 across the start-finish line. I love doing that. You gotta kind of plan that out carefully. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like doing stuff like that. Hello and welcome to Stage 4 of the 2022 Formula One Italian Grand Prix. That means Monza, which is a really awesome track. Now, this particular race, this one actually can get tricky. You don't have to win it, but I always want to win it. So you got to be careful of an overheating engine. And, well, I was trying to take him out. You might have noticed that. I'm going to get a little bit dirty with this one, because I want to see if I can win the race, just because I kind of want to win everything. But you definitely are going to overheat very quickly and can end up in a lot of trouble. So I actually had to do this one a couple of times because I was coasting too much and got horribly wrecked, and that just seemed ugly. And I overheated once. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful here. And by taking people out, you might have noticed that I've created a lot of trouble behind me. In fact, there's only really 3 cars there, so I can do a lot of coasting. And just watch that engine temp though, it starts to build pretty quickly. I might do a little bit more pit maneuvers, but we'll see. Or if I can get a nice push. Oh, they're starting to catch up a little bit more. Better be careful. Yeah, ooh, yeah, let's have some fun with this guy. It's like I'm pitting myself. Whoa, he spun right around. I better not let him. Oh, wow, that was close. His nose almost hit my rear. And I think after Parabolica, I can just totally put the hammer down and not worry about anything. Ooh, well, let's just see how close this gets. Oh yeah, it's pit lane I have to worry about. I don't have to go all the way. I should have driven right into the wall. I forgot about that. I wonder what would happen if I drove into the wall. I think you have to drive past the wall. Anyhow, not that difficult. You just gotta watch what you're doing out there. Be careful with the overheating. Now, this one, we've got to heat up our tires and get up to a certain speed. And I don't think that's going to be too difficult. Oh, we're starting pretty low on those tires though, aren't we? So again, like I was saying in a different stage, you want to be careful that you don't have 2 tires off track very much. Well, no, that doesn't really matter as much. That's more about tire wear, I think. Anyhow. Oh, you know what I should have checked? This one didn't say anything about skidding. Oh, I was going to demonstrate about how skidding can build up heat quicker, and I kind of forgot about that. Oh, well. Still, you can see how I'm doing this one. Boy, that temperature's building up fast. Now, there's a bit of a mess up. It says 2 of 3 laps, but I'm pretty sure this ends right at the end of this lap. Pretty sure about that. Yeah, because look how fast those tires are heating up, and they didn't talk about an additional requirement other than like a third requirement. So let's just see what happens here. I'm pretty sure it's just going to come to an end, and then we'll get on to the next stage. Pretty easy. Let's see here. Where's the line? And yes, it ends. And so you can kind of ignore that, what it was saying. Now this starts to get a little more interesting. They want us to get up to position 8 and also finish each lap in under 1 minute 17 seconds. Now, that's not difficult, not with the upgrades needed. Don't know if I mentioned it yet in this particular video, but I've already got the upgrades needed to finish the last race before I even did the first race. I suggest doing that. It makes it kind of a breeze. You just fly through everything. You're earning more currency. You're not wasting as much time. Having the instant servicing is pretty nice to have, and the instant R&D. In fact, after I'm done this event, I will fully upgrade this car because that was my plan all along. Most people don't want to have 3 fully upgraded Formula 1 cars. I do. I really like them, and it's just kind of handy, I think. I just like how they drive, and probably at the end of the day, I'll just be driving one of them most of the time, but hey, I don't mind. Especially with these invitational series that have the longest races ever in the history of the game. Like 20-lap races. That's actually as long as a race can be in Real Racing 3, as far as what the game engine can handle. So, and the EA Creator Crew, that was our suggestion, to have these really long races, and so that's really nice to see that. Really cool that we were able to kind of assist with that a little bit. Nice to see. All right, so this one is going to be 2 full laps, and let's just see there. When you're dancing through traffic, you got to be a little bit careful. You definitely don't want to get hung up, but that's a lot of time. Like in a fully upgraded car, doing laps just over a minute here is reasonable. So 1 minute 17 isn't that difficult. There was 1:10, and that's with me being careful with a lot of traffic. So that's basically like 7 seconds to spare. Now I'm getting a lot more traffic, so position 8 is all that's required. I'm definitely not waiting around for that. No bot slowing. I've been doing every single race fast. Except for the one race where there was overheating, I had to be careful there, but I've been really punching it. And you can check out all the videos to see that if you want to. Flying through this pretty quick. You can take these two corners full throttle if no one's in your way. It's tricky. It's tricky taking the second corner of that section full throttle. If you come in there with a lot of speed, you gotta have a perfect race line in order to keep it pinned. Oh, I'd love to win this stage if possible. Get some side draft, get a push. Oh, that's a lapped car. I'm already in first place. Oh, silly me. Well, that's interesting. We're getting lapped cars this early? Huh. Oh, I guess we're 12 laps in. I mean, if this was an actual race, 12 laps in, yeah, you'd be getting lapped cars. Okay. Well, that's kind of fun. Kind of a neat little feature to have. All right, now, what is coming up next here? Should be something fun, I think. Well, I might have spoken too soon. I'm not a big fan of tires that are losing their grip, but hey, definitely part of actual racing, so we've got to manage that. All right, so what are the tips for managing degrading tires? You do not want to slide, and you do not want to be off track. That will wear out your tires a lot faster. And if you are sliding well off track, yeah, you might as well just melt them off your car because you're going to wreck them very fast. I still want to win. I'm in 8th place. Hopefully I can win. But I'm really going to be protecting my tires so that it's more important that I finish the stage. Oh, they're getting faster. I'm going to play a little bit rough with you. You're going into the wall. He eventually got out of the gas. I didn't get him into the wall, but definitely I was getting pretty close. And yes, that's not proper driving, but oh well, my digital opponents aren't going to object to me too ferociously. Now, it's already position 6 right there. Can we get into the lead? That is what I would like to know. I hopefully will do that. This event, I've just been flying through this event. I think this might end up being the fastest Grand Prix event I've ever run. Very surprised at how quick this is. Nothing's been difficult, really. There was just the one overheating stage where I had to do it a couple of times because I was just too aggressive. Now, of course, I made it a lot worse because I wanted to win that race. So, of course, I think the requirement was just finishing in position 13. Anyhow, I took it way above what it had to be. Tires are only at 71%. That's really not bad, and I'm catching up on more cars. I still have a lot of driving ability left in my car at this point. I'll have to be a little bit careful. Like corners I would like to take full throttle, I won't be taking full throttle. So I'm going to be a little bit careful about that. Like coming up here, the next 2 corners I would usually take full throttle, but definitely not going to do that with this much tire wear. Do a tiny bit of braking. There we go. Oop! Nuts. That was silly. 3rd place. Well, I don't know if I'm going to win this race. Yeah. Oh, what do we got here? Maybe? No, I think 1st place is too far away. And I really don't want to go flying off the track here at Parabolica. So I better make sure, I better just make sure I finish the stage. Finishing the stage is much more important than finishing in 1st place when it's not a requirement. And there we go. Just a nice finish. And that takes us to the end of stage 4. Last and final stage is coming up very shortly. Please like, please subscribe, check out some other videos. Playlist link will be up. Hello and welcome to stage 5, the final stage of the 2022 Formula One Italian Grand Prix. I'm driving the Red Bull. I've already added all the upgrades I need to finish the last race, and if you want to see those costs, I would say click on the video in the playlist link here at the end. In stage 1, I cover that in the first 25-30 seconds of the video as far as those costs are concerned. Should be the same for whichever car you choose. Like this Red Bull, I was looking at the specs and I'm thinking it might be give me a little edge over my Ferrari and Mercedes. I'm not quite sure, but I wanted it anyway. So we got to warm up those tires and then lap 3 opponents. And I don't think that's going to be very difficult because usually these Grand Prix events are not very difficult. Tires are heating up relatively quickly. I did once in a while think about throwing the car sideways into a skid because you heat up the tires a lot quicker that way. However, it just didn't seem advantageous, and so I didn't do that because I wasn't quite sure how hard it would be to lap 3 opponents. Not sure when we're going to face them. tires are heating up very quickly. So I'm guessing I should be coming up on this pretty fast. Might be a gaggle here at the chicane. I better be careful. Yes, big gaggle at the chicane. Not expecting that. Whoa, a little bit of a wreck there. Oh boy. Okay, I guess some of those were lapped cars because that was some atrocious driving. I've never understood why the bots slam on the brakes at the exit of that chicane. It is just stupid. You don't race that way, but they do. Oh, there we go. That's it. Okay, not a very difficult race. And I'm getting close to maximizing my $250,000. I'm just going to keep pushing through though. This event, as you can see by how much R&D and servicing time I have left, this has been going by very fast. This might be the fastest Grand Prix event I've ever done. All right, so we got to get up to position 2 and do some drafting for 45 seconds. Wow, slipstreaming, that's a long time. That's a good 3/4 of a lap, a little bit more than 3/4 of a lap. So let's just see here. I think I'll be able to catch up pretty quickly. Still have another lap to go after this one. This has been a pretty enjoyable event. You spend such little time on your brakes at this track. Now the interesting thing is, that makes it sound easy. It's actually not. When you have really, really long sections after a corner, if you didn't maximize your drive out of the corner, you're going to pay for it down the entire straight. So for instance, at Spa, after the very first corner, 25% of a lap occurs before you get to the very top of Kemmel at Lacombe Corner. So if you did not have a good exit from corner 1, you're going to pay for it all for a quarter lap. That's a big price to pay. So same with this track. If I don't have a good exit out of this last chicane into Parabolica and then exiting Parabolica, you're going to pay for it down this entire section, which is really long. So yeah, it's interesting. You really have to maximize what you're doing on tracks that have less corners. It can actually be more difficult because finding speed can get tricky. Whereas on tracks that have a bunch of corners, you can be not very good at one corner and good at the rest, and it evens out. Okay, so I'm almost up to my 45 seconds of slipstreaming. Hopefully I hit that before the second chicane. And then I can just rip around this boy. Ooh, didn't mean to nudge you there, sorry. I really like to win races every single time I can. You get better earnings, and I drive to win, not to finish second. So, oh, there we go. Ooh! That was nasty. I just didn't expect him to get so... I just thought he'd pass. Bots are really dumb. I was not expecting that, a big slamming on the brakes. Oh well, the good thing it didn't say don't worry about damage, or no, good thing it didn't say don't get damaged. No worries about damage, that was a lot of it. Okay, nothing to worry about. I'm going to take it a little bit easier on Parabolica though, because I definitely lost some of my handling right there with a huge hit like that. I really don't like losing it at Parabolica. That's actually not off track where, well, I was for a little bit there, but I was just being silly. Can't drive through pit lane here. Daytona Speedway, I think, is the only place you can actually drive through pit lane, which is kind of strange. Well, I guess it's not strange. It's just that pit lane's always open. Some people really want pit stops to be part of Real Racing 3, and sure, that would be cool, but it's never going to happen. It's not just a matter of opening up the pit lanes. It's all the additional programming that would have to be added as far as how does that work? Who controls the car when you're going into the pit lane? How will the pit stops work? What about exiting? There's all that stuff. You can't add that at this point in a game. It's just too much. It would have to be a whole new game. And also, the longest race you can have in Real Racing 3 is 20 laps. The game engine cannot handle more than 20 laps. And at pretty well every single track in this game, you're not pitting in those first 20 laps. So it just, for multiple reasons, it's just not part of this game. Really not a mobile thing. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've played some games that did have pit stops, but again, that's got to be part of the game engine at the beginning, not this many years into a game. So I get it. Some people love that. That's really cool. It's just not part of this race. This is more of quicker races, kind of that mobile experience, and I love it, as you know, because I make all these videos, so I must like it. This race I found interesting, hitting the speed requirement. Like, here's where you're starting to hit the top end of your car's abilities with these upgrades. So you really got to hit a lot of speed before you're You need a longer straight to hit the speed targets in this particular section. Now, I mean, I'm not worried now, but this particular straight, I don't think it's long enough to hit speed. I think that's where I didn't hit it in the last one. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm doing better this time. Let's just see if I do hit it. And, oh, I hit it right at the end there. Okay, so it's, yeah, whoa, getting slippery. That's interesting. Because my tires are going down. I was using my regular braking point. So I better not take this too aggressive. There we go, that was okay. Again, a pretty easy event. And at the end of this video, I'm actually going to fully upgrade my car. I'm going to take advantage of the R&D. Not that it really matters, but I might as well. My intention all along was to fully upgrade it. So I'll do that at the end of this video. That'll be where you can see that I certainly did this with minimal upgrades as far as the last race is concerned. And yeah, I've really been liking this. This has been just an easier event. Not a lot of really long, crazy stages, so that's good. I don't like it when stages get like really crazy long races. This one's just been very nice, very fast. In fact, I'm pretty sure I will finish this entire event in under 1 hour. That's shocking. Okay, 46 seconds to reach. Okay, let's just keep this full throttle here. Watch my race line through this corner, my trajectory, full throttle here. And no, I don't think I'll full throttle the last chicane here. No, I better not. Maybe just a slight lift. I went for a tiny brake tap. Very tiny. And of course, I'm not going to full throttle parabolica. That'd be crazy. But especially with this huge speed run. Now, if they start you close to parabolica, of course you can full throttle it, but not a regular run at parabolica. That's just going to be impossible. And what? So my timer runs down to nothing. Okay. Well, that's kind of strange, isn't it? I just assumed the race was going to end. Okay, maybe I misunderstood something. I'll just keep on going, and hopefully this ends nicely without a bunch of hullabaloo. Where is everybody, by the way? I would really love to... Okay, there's someone. I'd really love to be in first place right now. Ooh, that was close. Ooh, outside overtake is slightly dangerous. But, oh well. Now, how much speed do I have? Could I full throttle this? I don't think I will. I want to be careful. I'd love the lead. Looks like I'm going to be stuck in second place. Oh well. I'm pretty sure this is going to end nicely. Like, I find this very strange that my timer went to 0 and I'm still going. But let's just see what happens here. I hope there's no glitches. So far, it's been a glitch-free event. So I want to see. There we go. Green banner. Glitch-free. It's just weird. Okay. That's great. There we go. Keep on racing and racing and racing. So what do they have for us now? You can keep your average speed up. Huh. So I wonder if that means it'll fail me if I fall underneath. Well, no, because I'm starting below an average speed. Okay. So all I have to do is obviously be at a certain average speed when I cross the start-finish line. I'm pretty sure that's what it's talking about. Yeah, let's just assume that, because there's a whole... I'm in second place. Wait a second, okay, we got a ways to go here. Alright, well, let's have some fun with it. We do a very tight... You can take that so fast. Maybe you didn't know that. You can do that, like, fully upgraded. It's a riot flying through that last chicane. I really like it. I am looking forward to fully upgrading this car and seeing how well it can fly around Monza here. But my average speed here is doing very well. Hopefully that's going to keep going nicely. It's kind of strange that there's no traffic. Like, where is everybody? Very unusual that you're not encountering even some lapped cars. But, okay. Well, we'll just keep on going. So braking points, I haven't talked about that at all. I'm braking right as I go below this banner, swing to the right, full throttle before I even enter the chicane. No braking here. And the next corner, if you get the proper trajectory or race line, No braking here. If you get it wrong, you're flying off track. It's not easy to take that full throttle like I did. Very tricky. Because I took that last corner full throttle, there's no way I'm taking the chicane full throttle. But you might notice that was hardly any time on the brakes. And there's the leader. So I'm going to basically have a whole lap in the lead. Okay, that's cool. Well, I guess, it is stage 5. That's not unexpected, is it? So, yeah, I'm kind of hoping I see some lap cars here. That would be kind of cool to get a little bit more traffic going on here. But I guess we'll see what happens here. Average speed is staying about the same as when I start a new lap. It's right about where it was. Of course, it drops here. Oh, I didn't discuss my braking point for the very first chicane. Well, there's a distance marker. You can probably figure it out just by seeing when my brakes go solid. You'll notice I do a lot of pre-braking. So I call it preloading the brakes. So the awesome thing about Tilt B is you can... Oh! I entered that with too much speed, I guess, or the wrong trajectory. Well, because I lost it there, I'm going to take this chicane full throttle. Even if I crash, I'm just going for it. Okay, I was talking about preloading brakes. Let's check this out, though. Full throttle, baby. I'll preload the brakes at Parabolica. So you'll notice the brake pedal comes on early, but it only takes effect when I release the gas or the accelerator. Watch, there's both. As soon as I release the accelerator, I've got brakes, and then I just have to reapply the accelerator and we're full throttle again. I'm showing you that section is actually on track. I'm just kind of being silly here. And, oh yeah, I love doing that. Big figure 8 across the start-finish line. Sometimes they straighten out the car for me. This time they didn't. Okay, so I lost 14,000 and some M dollars. Not a big deal. I don't really care. Here's the final rewards. And like I said, they're going to show me picking, of course, I'm going to pick the Red Bull. I mean, I don't know why that's there. Full upgrade costs, 3,866,226 M dollars and 918 gold. That's not a lot of gold for a car that's this stinking good. So here's some other videos in the playlist link. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for joining me today.